Long before Battlefield became one of the biggest FPS franchises in the world, the classic era is remembered with Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2, two successful games at that time. But there is one Battlefield released in the middle of these successful games, but it was overshadowed and forgotten by the community to this day, and this game is called Battlefield Vietnam. Battlefield Vietnam was released in 15 March 2004 only for PC. The biggest new feature is the game is now set during Vietnam War, which at the time very few games had explored this theme. We can mention for example Viet Cong, Shell Shock and Man of Valor, unlike nowadays when we have well-known Vietnam War games like Rise Storm 2 Vietnam and the new recent game Hell Let Loose Vietnam. So Battlefield Vietnam was a good idea to bring this theme, but why he's forgotten nowadays? So let's check it out. Battlefield Vietnam has 40 maps recreating intense battles during Vietnam War, for example, Ho Chi Minh Trail, Battle of Khe Sanh, and Operation Flaming Dot. The gameplay is still similar to previous game, both try to capture all control points to enable allies and vehicles to spawn. The match ends when all control points are captured or all team tickets ends. The game still uses the Battlefield 1942 engine, but with new and improved features. We can play as Americans, South and North Vietnamese. Each team has weapons, vehicles, helicopters, and aircrafts, faithfully representing the weaponry of the era. Despite the American weaponry is superior than others, the game keeps balance very well. We have 4 classes for each team: Assault, Engineer, Heavy Assault, and Scout, one less in comparison with previous game. The difference is now we have 2 loadouts per kit. In Battlefield 1942, an American Assault only has an option to play with an automatic rifle. Now in Battlefield Vietnam, an American Assault has an option to choose an automatic rifle or shotgun. The flagship on this game is the soundtrack, which is very awesome. The soundtrack uses the same songs played during the war, creating an awesome atmosphere. Example of bands or artists the game has: Creedence, Deep Purple, The Animals and Jefferson playing. With these considerations, you might ask, why did this game get forgotten? When this game was released, despite it received good critics and selling well, it got criticized by the community. First was the lack of innovation and content. Like I said before, Battlefield Vietnam gameplay was similar to previous game, and also 1942 got 2 DLCs with new maps, new vehicles, teams and weapons, while Vietnam only got a version called Redux with few maps, vehicles and official World War II mode. Tried to call people to play Vietnam, but it didn't work. The second reason is the mod community. Battlefield Vietnam supports mods, but it wasn't popular in comparison to previous game, which got various modes. We can mention for example Desert Combat, Forgotten Hope, a Star Wars Galactic Conquest mode, and ironically Eve of Destruction, a Vietnam War mode. And the last reason is, when Battlefield Vietnam was released, Battlefield 1942 was still popular, and as the people saw the similarities about gameplay, they decided to go back to 1942, and to make things worse, 1 year later it was released Battlefield 2, driving the final nail into the coffin, and this affects the Battlefield Vietnam play account to this day. Battlefield Vietnam official servers were shut down 12 years ago, but it was revived by the community. The problem is, there is only one active server with 5 to 10 people play per day, while Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2 still has a lot of 4 servers for any region. Sometimes there are some mini events to revive this game by Elo Clan community, which hosts servers for this game and also for 1942, doing a good job to keep this game alive. When I was a child, I always played Call of Duty, but I used to play countless hours of classic battlefields, especially Vietnam and Battlefield 2, and playing this game again gave me a huge nostalgia. If you start to play Battlefield after Battlefield 3, you might don't like the Battlefield Vietnam gameplay, but I have played both eras and I recommend Battlefield Vietnam. Is an excellent game. So that's the Battlefield Vietnam, the forgotten Battlefield Classic era. If you enjoyed the video, Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you have suggestions to revisit and review an old or better game, drop in the comments. Thanks to watch and I'll see you in the next one.